Hello, everyone. It's Christy, and it is Tech Time with Christy time today. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. We are going to touch base on quite a few different things today, but my biggest push today is for us to understand a little bit more about opportunities. I know that opportunities are something we all need to work with, and we all need to understand how to use them effectively. So let's jump right in. To Command. So let's take a look today at exactly what's going on with Command and how we can get into those opportunities. Of course, as you know, in Command, let's make the screen a little bigger, you will go down to the shaking hands for any opportunities. However, what most of us do not understand is we have to add a contact in first before we pull them into an opportunity. So let's do that. Contacts. We are going to add a contact. Okay, I'm going to add Mick Jagger. And make sure that as you're adding your contact in, that you click Add to Sales Pipeline. As we know with contacts, we want to ensure that we add additional information so that we can ensure we have all proper contact to complete their file, which would be the name, the email address, the phone number, and their mailing address. All right, it's not letting me put a dummy number in. AI is too smart for all of us. All right, so we've created old Mick Jagger. Once you click on Add to Sales Pipeline, it will automatically pull up to create an opportunity. Now, you go to the top right side, click Create an Opportunity, and your opportunity screen comes up like this. Now, you have the option to click on a listing, a buyer, a landlord, or a tenant. Well, today we're going to click on buyer. Click on client, and even though it came up after you put him in as a contact, you want to ensure that you add Mick Jagger as your client. If you would like to add any custom tags at this point, you can. As you can see, seller, buyer, etc. So I'm going to put buyer 2020. That's a tag that I have already added. And then estimated close date. Well, we know that he has already started with his financing, and today is the August 11th. So let's go and give him a good month to find a home. His time frame is 3 months. His budget is $250,000. Commission rate on this would be 3% on our side or 6% total. So we're going to say 3% on our side. And he is right now in the appointment phase. We have already spoken with Mr. Mick Jagger. Had he been someone that you had just put in as a lead or someone that you had first contacted, you could put them in as cultivate. And we're going to create. All right, you will see on Mick's screen the general information, his property information, and then of course there's no description so far. Some of the things to look at when you're creating an opportunity. The biggest thing and the first thing is that you'll see down here, we have an estimated close date, but we don't have an appointment scheduled, an appointment date, or an appointment won. As you will learn about putting your goals into the report section, you'll see that if we do not fill this out, it does not populate our goals. So we want to go back up here to our little pencil and put that our appointment was scheduled today. Our appointment date, we're going to meet with Mr. Mick on the 13th. And our agreement was won today. And we don't have a contract or a close date yet. And we want to save it. Okay. Now, if Mr. Mick has already signed up for your app on KW, you would see here in the app association that he had registered for the customer platform. Unfortunately, he hasn't done so yet. All right, let's go to documents. This is the fun part, and this is what everyone gets very frustrated about when it comes to opportunities in Command. First and foremost, understand that on your left-hand side, where it says residential, there is consultation, under contract, and closed. So we need to make sure that as we're adding things in, we are adding them in the right section. In consultation, you see there's nothing that comes up. And under contract is where the bulk of all of our documentation is going to be. Also take a look that it says whether it's optional, conditionally required, or required. Anything that is required has to be in here completed for your opportunity to be approved. Conditionally required, such as amendments, also needed to be added if they're referenced from a required document. So let's start a transaction. You will see that you have the option within Command and Opportunities to use DocuSign or dotloop. DocuSign is the system of documentation that is already approved and integrated into Command. If you choose to use dotloop, it will be a third-party choice, and you do have to purchase that separately. For some of you who are choosing to use Georgia MLS, you may do so as well. You do have to go outside of Command into Georgia MLS, into Transaction Desk to be able to pull those files. Once you have your files completed, you will download them from here, go back into Command, and where it says to add a file, you will upload them here. I'm going to start a transaction in DocuSign so you can see how that looks. DocuSign will have you sign in, and I already have mine saved. And what it says is we want to add documents to our room. Now this confuses some people because it's called a room. However, a room is a transaction. So look at it that way. Now, you can do one of two things. You can actually upload documents from your computer into your room if you have those saved. You can add documents from Google Drive, Dropbox. This is if you have secondary information such as a plat or a warranty deed from your buyer or seller. DocuSign forms. And then you'll look in your DocuSign library and you will select your DocuSign forms. We are in Georgia, so here's the Georgia Association of Realtor forms. All right, and all your forms should pull up. So of course this is a buyer. So the first form that I want is the buyer brokerage agreement. Here's the exclusive buyer brokerage agreement. I'm gonna click on the circle to the side and add it to my room. All right, now this makes more sense because you will see that Mick Jagger, my buyer, is now in DocuSign at the top, and this is Mick's room, quote unquote. I love some Mick Jagger. All right, so let's click on our buyer brokerage agreement. Now, it will automatically populate their name and our name, Keller Williams Realty Atlanta Partners. What we have to do though, is we are going to have to edit all of the dates and all of the additional information. So of course, today is the 11th, and this is going to begin today. And this is going to go through, we're going to say, the end of October, just in case he doesn't find a house. All right, we are independent contractors. Woohoo! All right, agency and brokerage. We do not, and it says not, we do not do dual agency here. We do not do sub-agency. All right, so on and so forth. We're going to go through, and I'm just going to do the first page so you can see. Make sure as you're going through any form that all your boxes that are supposed to be filled out are filled out. All right, and we're going to just say save and close. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to go back into Command, and we're going to go down here where it says buyer brokerage agreement. Now that you've saved it in DocuSign, you can go to DocuSign. Mick Jagger's room is going to come up. You click on the buyer brokerage agreement and you assign it. Now, let's say he's already made his entire choice, negotiation, and he is under contract. You would go through and of course you would upload all the documents that are necessary for this opportunity. His purchase and sale agreement, any addendum or exhibits, any additional information, of course, his wire fraud disclosure, because he will need that, because that is required. The FMLS 118, if this listing wasn't FMLS. Any lead-based paint exhibit, if this property was built before 1978. Now, a lot of people ask, how do I get the forms from Keller Williams? Well, if you see an underline, you can actually click on that underline and have the form come up. This is the wire fraud scam. And you can go right up here to the little cloud with the arrow at the top and download. And it will download it to your computer. Once everything has been done properly and you have everything uploaded, you will click Submit to MC, which is Submit to the Market Center. And our wonderful Dan, who is our compliance broker, will be checking all of your files. You may come back and see that there's a little notice right here on the left-hand side where it says open. It may actually say returned or approved or resubmitted. So you want to make sure that you double check, triple check everything that you have. And then you will have a notification that comes up by the status that lets you know about the file itself. One other quick thing that people have trouble with, let's say that this opportunity here terminated and we found some issues with the house and Mr. Mick said he didn't want to buy it, but he wanted to find another house. You do not have to completely create a new opportunity. Where it says under contract, you can click on the arrow and you can add a version. Mick's second choice. And you can create this version. What you'll see is this version is completely blank. So you will have to go in again and add the correct documentation. You can also add comments, which will be read by Dan or whomever is checking. You can also attach multiple files. And you can see how you can do more than one. Or you can add specific items. Let's say that on here, you don't see anywhere for a seller's property disclosure. Seller's disclosure signed. This is an agreement. You can add additional notes. And here, let's say you had it sent from the other agent. And I'm just going to pick a PDF. You can come here and upload it this way. When you save it, it will come up at the bottom of the screen. Seller's disclosure agreement. Now, everything's been approved and done. You want to go into offers because we want to make sure that good old Mick has his offer taken care of. So we're going to add an offer. And I'm going to name it the same thing because this is for the second house that he chose. All right. Well, Mick offered this on, we'll just say the 14th, but he's going to close on this September the 25th. Okay, we're going to search for some property. All parties. Now, parties come up. The buyer's name is first. The seller's name comes second. Now, if you know all the information for the seller, absolutely put it in here. If you do not, that is okay. Now, Mick was already pre-qualified and pre-approved, so we can check both. I am the representative for Mr. Mick, and we'll put another agent in. Is the representative for Miss Brenda. Terms. This is very important as well. If he's paying all cash, all of his money goes here. But Mick's not paying all cash, right? Mick's kind of like, oh, you know, I'm going to save some of that money that I have. I only want to put down 3.5%. All right. So 3.5% is $6,650. All right. And the sales price was $190. Let's see if it's going to let me do it. So that's going to leave $183,350 that he's going to finance. He put down $1,000 in earnest money. With regular purchase and sales, there's typically no option fee. That comes into play if you have bank-owned properties and or short sales. Termination, he's asking for a 7-day due diligence. And he is also asking that the seller pay $3,500 in settlement cost. Now, this is where you as the agent can actually pro or con it. The pros, great price. Maybe the cons are little on the high side for purchase. Okay? And save it. Now, we've made this offer on the second house, and let's say the seller accepts it. We click accept. If the seller rejects it, we can click reject. These 3 little gigs on the side says we can add another negotiation. We can edit this offer. We can add an analysis. You can actually send this offer via your computer, via command, or you can remove this offer altogether. We're going to say that it is accepted. All right. How exciting. We're under contract. You've submitted all your documents. You've submitted your offer. Now we go to commissions. Your commissions are going to auto-populate from 2 different ways. It's going to auto-populate from command and also from the Market Center's office as far as where you stand with your cap. Now you see here that we've got a little triangle which says that there's some missing information. So we hit edit general information, contract date. We went under contract binding on the 15th of August. We're going to save those changes. And you should see that everything should auto-populate. 1 unit. Everything's in here. Here's the total commission, what's paid to the office, royalty, etc., and what you will bring home. If you have any notes or anything to add to the Market Center, you can add a note here. Like, let's say maybe you want to say, take 20 out for cares for kids. Okay. You can add that note here. You can also go down here and see where it has additional deductions. You can actually add your additional deductions in here. Then click submit. Once you submit, you will see a little 1 on the side here, which has gone to the Market Center. All right. Some other great features that you have while you're in Mick Jagger's opportunity is notes. You can actually add notes for yourself, leave notes, or assign notes to the buyer/seller. We're going to save that note. Okay. Timeline. This is a great opportunity to use and see exactly what's going on in the loop or in the opportunity. So you can see that I added a new compliance, I added a new offer, I added the commission, and you can also go through here and see who else has been in the loop, in the opportunity from the Market Center or from the brokerage. This little icon up here is for task. So we already know that Mick kept his appointment. He's searching. We've already searched. We've already shown. We've been in negotiations. And now we're in earnest money. So we need to add an item. Get earnest money. So we need to pick up that earnest money. We can set a due date for this. Well, we went under contract on the 15th and he has, let's say, 3 days. So that's 1, 2, 3. The 18th, we need to have that sucker in the office. Okay. You can see that If you get additional items, you can move them up and down. So of course we need to schedule that inspection because it's due the 17th. So we can close this. And I clicked on sales pipeline and we went right back to this screen, which you'll see right here. Now there's one under contract. Oh, I went into listings. That's why. Let's try this again. I apologize. Go into active and we will see Mr. Mick Jagger should be in appointments. And we want to move Mr. Mick Jagger to active because that's where he moved. And now that we're under contract, we will actually move Mr. Mick Jagger to under contract. And you'll also see here, he has 2 tasks. You can go back in and click on the task and it says 1 of 2 is done and the earnest money's done. So when you close it, 2 of 2 are completed. And as you move your buyer through the different stages, cultivate, appointment, active, some people don't really like this board view. You can actually click right here and see it as far as a list view. You can also edit the stages. For instance, you'll see offer and accepted earnest money, financing, inspection, appraisal, and clear to close. That's the stages for under contract. In active, if you edit the stages, for instance, legacy, you may not use legacy. You can click on the delete and delete that out, and it automatically saves it. The great thing about the opportunities is as you put people in here and move them through, it shows you your potential income and your probable income. This is adjusted based on each stage's probability to close. And it's fantastic because this automatically correlates with your database health. And up here under your reports is goals. And it automatically correlates with the goals that you have put in and set for yourself. So I hope this is helpful as you go through opportunities. It's a very easy step-by-step. There is also a great training on it on KW Connect in Command Your Business. Scroll down. Command Your Transactions with Opportunities, recommended training. And you can actually get started. And all these videos walk you through step by step in all the opportunities and exactly how to use them to their fullest potential. So I hope this helped you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day, and we look forward to more Tech Time with Christy next week.